Recently, I've been inspired to garden a bit more, and I challenged myself to film and build a cinematic sequence. I used the old sliding door since I loved the rustic look of the wood and how its character mirrors the weather-beaten rocks that make up one of the more prominent features in the garden. But I used this sliding door to introduce the viewers to our protagonists, namely hands and feet. I also introduced a couple of supporting characters as they entered the narrative to play their part in the plot. Meet Broomsy, Scooper, and Flatline. The first conflict to drive the narrative is the fallen leaf litter and other debris that have nestled in between the gravel and stones. These leaves are mostly concentrated around the bougainvillea path. Two things that I had not accounted for beforehand, or before filming, was that 1. I'm a stubbornly barefooted soul most of the time, and good grief how I regretted that while filming. Number 2, moist leaves are hard to sweep, and it had rained the previous night, so the leaves rebelled against Broomsy and Scooper and clung to the stone, a ploy they never try when they are dry. It also started to rain lightly, and so filming had to cease as my gear's not watertight. It rained until the next morning. It was still slightly overcast and the breeze was fresh and clean. Our supporting character, Flatline, leveled the gravel inside the rock garden, one steady line at a time. So while I was filming, I spotted a little weed and thought it will be a good close-up in which our protagonist's hands can star. I got both the framing and angle of the shot completely wrong. One of the hands was blocking all the action and the scene was slightly out of frame. Pro tip: take enough coverage of important scenes or shots when you are filming. Finding the correct angle can be very time consuming, but having multiple versions of the same scene can save your project, while not having enough coverage can ruin it, especially if you missed something essential to the plot. And now, without further ado, let's look at the final sequence. Now this was my first attempt at filming in a more relaxed style, and I plan to do different challenges in an effort to force me out of my comfort zone in my filmmaking endeavours.